Hey, crime publishing content, followers, viewers, supporters, and listeners. Thank you for clicking on my video again to see what it is I have to say. If you're new to my channel, welcome 1,000 times. We're happy to have you. I'm audio host Arthur Tedashiri, and today's topic is called Did Dr. Seuss Pass Away on My Birthday? And yes, I'm talking about me, the Arthur Tedashiri. Did he pass away on my birthday? So we thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button to show your support and share this video with a friend. I thought this was a great topic also, right in time for back to school and in time for my birthday, right? Dr. Seuss did. Once I looked into these uh, allegations that it might have been a possibility, because a lot of us, when we sit back and think about it, wouldn't just think like, what was the behind the scenes life of Dr. Seuss, right? It was so much when I dove in just to do a little research that I found out, right? Uh, Even about one of his late wives, I think like she passed away as well, but I think she passed before him. She took her life. They say she took her life. This is the alleged story. She took her own life. The suicidal spirit's been around here for a long time, and it's grieved many families along the way, regardless of the reasons. We debate uh, that these things happen. Because with this story, they try to say it was because of these rumors about him cheating and stuff like that. But we heard that Mr. King's wife, also Mr. Martin Luther King, they be trying to say that to scratch up. I think it's that sometimes, a person life story is that at the end of the day. But yeah, sometimes these people had affairs. I never get too moved when I hear that. It'd be other people who put you on the golden standard platter, and try to shine the light on you like, you should do no wrong. And if when you're in a certain position, and then if you do, all hell kind of breaks loose. So I was wondering, was Dr. Seuss maybe a victim of that? His full name, though, we know is Theodore Seuss Geisel or Geisel. Uh, Maybe that's a fact or something we didn't know. He was born March 2nd, 1904 in Springfield, Massachusetts. Okay. So from 1904 and uh, through 1991, it said that Dr. Seuss lived a very interesting and fulfilling life and career, not just as an author, but also as an illustrator. We know, I wanted to talk about that for a second or shine light on it in good reverence to Mr. Dr. Seuss. It's like back then, I think being an illustrator, because y'all know we have like AI technology and things like this today, digital art and things we can create, we can bring our visions to paper a whole new way today, right? But back then, it was, I just want to give reverence where it's due. It was a big deal to be able to animate your own vision of characters. And I don't care who you were doing it, Disney or whoever. We got to give reverence where it's due, because today you could just get on a platform and pay somebody to illustrate for you, even if you didn't know how to do a specific task. If you wanted to do something like put a book together, that's a little bit about what we were teaching at one point right here on the Crown Publishing Content channel as well. And we still offer our own services, for those interested in content management or ghostwriter services. But every publication business is different. If you were looking for another did you know or fun fact about Mr. Geisel, Mr. Theodore Seuss, it was also that, see, people probably didn't know what he went through in his career, what led him to, because I'm going to get back to the illustrations part and how him being an illustrator probably did, because people argue it was this book or it was that piece of work or it was him making that deal with that publishing company that got him to where Dr. Seuss actually, or gave him the opportunities to get to where he eventually got. But in my opinion, I'm just giving my reaction, to hear that his first book attempts were rejected by nearly 30 publishers. I was already sold on this man's story, because these are the raw stories that I've talked about for so long that inspire me personally, right? The Louis Vuitton story, right? Or I can be inspired by something as big as Louis Vuitton and then turn around and be inspired by Mr. Dr. Seuss too. I'm not here to compare the net worths of both companies or anything like this, both brands or anything. I'm talking about on a respectful level, where I respect the work and the work ethic, regardless of what these leaders were going through at one point. So, because we know a lot of just average or mediocre thinking people would stop or give up on a dream if something like 30, in the music industry, that's like 30 different labels turning you away, right? In the book industry, that's like a big deal for 30 publishers to turn you away. They just weren't a fan of his. The story is they weren't a fan of his illustrations at the time, okay? See, people, we got to give reverence where it's due. If Tweety Bird was drawn out one day, Sylvester, Bugs Bunny, Winnie the Pooh, I don't care. We have to give back then illustrationist. That was probably one of the top job professions you could be in. Bringing animation, narration, or any type of publication work together. Even if it was an album back then, hit that like button if you agree. Feel free to leave your comments in the comment section, guys. We are open to comments, suggestions, or any of that good stuff. We want to hear from you guys too. They say, as far as his educational background, he attended Dartmouth College. He received his bachelor's degree in 1925, and I just thought that number play was crazy too. It's not number play; it's his real life. But 1925, that's crazy. Like, if it was 1924 or a year prior, it would have been 1924, which is the birthday numbers again. But yes, on my birthday, he is the day he did pass away. That's what we're talking about at the beginning. He received his postgrad degree from Lincoln College. He also is known to have attended schools like Oxford and Sorbonne. Sorbonne. I think that's how you pronounce it. He finally got a bigger break, right, when he would land jobs or gigs with publication companies. This is before the Dr. Seuss brand got just known as a family household name, as a American education name. You know what I mean? He actually started off in publications for different publication companies. So maybe they didn't accept his work, but he still has skills that he could contribute to these companies as well. So that's just inspirational to know at the same time. So what service did he contribute to these companies, guys? We were talking about the illustrations. To me, this is what broke the ice for Dr. Seuss. Even if he didn't know it yet, he allowed his skill, that gift right there alone, to brand his own work, because he was illustrating for other companies and, working to provide, like humor scripts or comedial scripts for advertising campaigns, right? That's a whole different sector. And don't we talk about that at Crown Publishing Content? When you're publishing content, there is no longer a limit. There are so many avenues, a platform, directions, so many different jobs in this very sector. And if you wanted to switch up what you do 6-7 times a year, me personally, and everything I state on this video today is just my comments, opinions, my review to this topic. Nobody has to agree. We're not here today we're here to spark your interest in research, not, do the opposite and we're not here to offend anybody is what I mean. And condolences to any of the Geisel, Seuss family that might still be living out there, right? We love Dr. Seuss here at Crown Publishing Content for sure. They say, like, one of his most recent or known advertising campaign to had help with, that he took pride and honor in, was for a insect repellent company, actually, by the name of Flit. So yeah, he was illustrating different children's works and even cartoons, y'all. Because back then cartoons were out, right? It had to take a minute probably for us to get color in them, because Mickey Mouse is like one of the oldest animated characters out there or something like that, right? But they might not all started with color or the best animation, but you did have those animators, you did have those illustrators, and we respect them today. I was like, they're do a whole video audio topic about this today. So just remember that if you learned anything from what Crown Publishing Content taught you about Mr. Dr. Seuss, he was not accepted at first. Just, I think for some people it happens that way. Don't get us wrong, like it does probably happen. Authors come out with these breakout books, man. They're signed, they get a deal. The deal is on a table before they even leave. What you mean? I'm just saying, I personally have not, and I was even explaining to my kids earlier because they didn't even know. They were a little younger when I first just got serious and wanted to go a certain direction in my work too. I was telling them, like, that happened to mommy. I can't say it was probably 30 publishers that, but just making up in your mind, you were going to try something on your own. You were going to write this material. You're going to write this manuscript. You're going to pay editors on your own out of your own pocket, and you were going to submit this manuscript, and you're going to submit this manuscript until somebody accepted it. I've actually been there, and the kids were like, really, Mom? I'm like, yeah, a lot of people did me like that too. I know what Dr. Seuss is going through, really. Companies, I'm not here to blast them. Nobody has to, people have to know their side of it. Feel free to tune in, not my story, but I'm saying that part of business, right? They really don't have to, because some companies only accept certain genres and so forth, right? I had to learn along my journey before I got interested in actually gaining the education, the credentials, the experience to even help other people. But anyways, I thought this was so inspiring that Dr. Seuss himself too, right? Everybody didn't think, now look, everybody didn't think that his work was worthy of publishing and giving him, signing the contract with him. But look, it's still a household name today. I think I even wrote down, y'all want to know something? Um, well, where honor is due, I was going to get straight to the money part, like how much these books have made across the world, might I add, right? But he also, in his lifetime, received many, many prizes and honors for bestsellers. For example, his 1984 publication, 1984 Pulitzer Prize, American Education and Entertainment for Children type honor, okay? Which is a very big deal for the 80s, if you ask me. And they say by the 21st century, 600 million copies have been sold worldwide. So you do the math. And they're still selling left and right. They got backpacks. I mean, he just got his own whole brand. Cartoons, movies, I believe, The Grinch Stole Christmas, we all know, with the famous Jim Carrey, was also inspired by a Dr. Seuss, a Dr. Seuss production, okay? We watch it every Christmas, right? So I just felt like this informative video was just going to be a great reference to go back to at any time when we talk about him and his life, and inspiring us even years later, especially me learning that he actually passed away on my birthday, like the day I was born. I think it's safe to say that we could continue and that we should continue with great creations that we can brand. He would be proud today to see the tools that we can even use to do it, right? AI illustration and this new anime 4D 5D world everybody's into, right? People like Dr. Seuss would have loved to see today. Let that motivate you if you're a writer or publisher, any sort, in any business, right? Like, always remember Dr. Seuss's story. And I said creations we can brand, okay? Because even if those doors are closed in our face or our ideas are not accepted on mainstream levels, when we know we have a passion to do something, well, it looks like Dr. Seuss stopped knocking. I'm not going to say he stopped knocking on the door. He just got a little more independent in his route to bring stories to children that he thought they could love. And it was the book called And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street. Inspirational story about a little boy who supposedly turns his walks home from school into adventurous, storylines for himself. And at home, they say his father would frown upon his son's imaginative nature, right? They're just like, son, get home after school. Make sure you look both ways when you cross the street. But his son had a type of imagination where he imagined, his pirate ships or whatever outside. Just help him get home. I think it's a beautiful children's story idea. And thank God Vanguard Press did too in 1937, because they say this was really the breakthrough book for Dr. Seuss. But you put your opinions in the comments. There was also a book not too long after in 1940 titled Horton Hatches the Egg. What is one of your favorite Dr. Seuss books? Crown Publishing Content would love to know. Leave your opinions in the comments. And then he had later breakouts, like in year 1957, where he really was able to build a household name brand. And everybody this is when he was just really getting known around the world through publications like Cat in the Hat, Grinch Stole Christmas, and Green Eggs and Ham. You've may heard of one of those titles in your lifetime. That's how much of a household name Dr. Seuss is, okay? Don't forget to leave your opinions in the comments. I just thought that this was enough inspiration for me to go do more research. Of course, I'm not done. If anybody want to know, I'm inspired enough to even, I wonder if they have people living still we can go meet. I know for sure they have a library. They have a library in respect of honor. It's named after Mr. Dr. Seuss on the University of California in San Diego. It's called the Geisel Library, okay? So I thought that was cool. I think they have other things out here, though, dedicated to Dr. Seuss. I didn't even cover a quarter or a third of what type of lifetime achievements he even received. But y'all might, like I said, I'm just here to spark out interest. You might want to go look into that. And if you're a writer, remain inspired. Because this is what I think. Sometimes you start with a passion or a vision like Dr. Seuss did, but he ended up being able to help millions of more people across the globe, okay? Some of his books are used in hooked on phonics lessons. How deep should we go about this? They have incorporated it in the curriculum of some education systems at this point for kindergarten students, children, or early learners that are just learning how to read. And I wonder, did he know that his vision or his passion to write and publish and illustrate for children would grow this big? What are your opinions and thoughts? Leave them in the comment section. But I did hear that about the wife part. I didn't know if I was going to bring that up in this segment. Maybe I can do a separate segment about that. But it was sad to learn for anybody. And I never thought it was a game when people play like that, talking about they're going to do that to themselves because somebody wants to lead them or the relationship. They're not getting some out of the relationship that they're no longer getting. Even if Dr. Seuss experienced this or saw that it was real. Not just suicide, but the reasons, what drives some women there. As much as people don't want to talk about it, if we had to, how many women have done this and left the kids here, left the family here over of one relationship? And they make this little statement like there's plenty of fish in the pool and stuff like that. But maybe some people heart, it's different. It's built different. And once they're in love with somebody, they can't see no other colors. They can't see nothing else. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're stuck on, okay? So, yeah, it was interesting to know that he did work for companies. We still know today, but these companies were around in earlier times, like Vanity Fair, Life, publication companies that he did great work for. So, like I said, I'm just referencing a few. They say he passed away in La Jolla, California. I thought that was like informative information. It's just crazy. Not that I'm from California, know more about it than anybody else, but because I think we've all heard La Jolla, probably like as a last name and different stuff like that too, but it make you almost want to research the origin. If I only say this because what I'd be on a thinking level, but if he was like passed away on my birthday, stuff like that means stuff to me. Like what is the origins of La Jolla really? I think it's of Spanish origin or something like that, but you do see a lot of street names with that street title or even last names. Hispanics with that last name and different things. But like I said, it was just like where he died. That didn't, I didn't say that's like was the descent he was from or anything like that. But he is known to have been a great American author and illustrator, and one we will never forget. It's just why his when his name is mentioned, everybody know. But just imagine what he had to go through, uh, right, to get to where he was. And I was just here to inspire writers, publicators, people in the entertainment industry altogether. You know, their work. And what they do behind the scenes, it takes so many different types of engineers to sometimes bring one type of project together. And yes, the world of books is definitely that. And even if it's a digital audio book, there's people in behind the scenes. There's somebody that's doing the narration. There's somebody had to put their script together, edit, boom, boom. There's royalties that have to be split up and things like this. But we love you, Dr. Seuss, from the Crown Publishing Content YouTube channel for your from ours to yours. Give this video a like to show your support, and until next time.